So the Rivals 2 beta just ended, and I gotta say, it's pretty fucking good. This game's a lot of fun. Um, and this video is here just to like list off like my thoughts, pros, cons, shit like that. Um, I'll just start off with the cons. At first, the game felt pretty stiff. It wasn't too terrible, but when I kind of went in the lab, for example, I main Claren, I was having trouble like spacing out my tippers and like just shit like that, and it was more of like a horizontal mobility issue and it just felt sluggish. But eventually I did find a way to fix this. I just had to fuck with my controller sensitivity and my dead zone, and after that I didn't have a controller problem. But while this is in the settings, I wish I knew to do it sooner, as Rivals 2 is compatible with like Switch and Wii U, GameCube adapters, blah blah blah, and it reads the controller perfectly fine. It's just I thought that's what it felt like because it's supposed to be compatible with it, but I guess not. I even had a friend who had a third-party controller, and he was in the menu, and his icon like moved so fucking slow. It just looked weird, and in the game he couldn't even run fully. He does have a third-party controller, but still, it's adapter compatible. But that's how I figured out that it was more of a game issue rather than an adapter slash controller issue. For some people, it felt alright, right? And people picked up the game and they just played it, and it could just be me. So take all what I say with a grain of salt. Another thing I want to talk about is how accessible this game is for people. Either if you're coming from Rivals 1, Ultimate, any platform fighter, I feel like even if you don't know all the tech in the game, you should be able to play this game pretty well. Like, I'm an Ultimate Rivals 1 player, and this game, it just felt like second nature almost. Like, you have that muscle memory and it transfers to this game too. There's some shit like how tech works in this game, and like hit stun is longer. It's just getting used to from my if for me as an Ultimate Rivals 1 player, it feels like melee hit stun and like tech, where it's like there's more, you're in hitfall longer, and you can't buffer text as much. But that's just it's an entirely new game, so I'm not going to judge it off that, and it's not a bad thing either. I just have to learn to play the game. Another thing I want to talk about is like the graphics. The game's very colorful and easy to look at, and though I know this is like the first beta, but I hope for more like UI design, at least like menu music, because like I was like, when I first started the game, I thought it was like fucking like broken or some shit, because you just got like Crag sitting there like fucking doing his animation. There's like no music, and I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, man, I messed with my settings, but no, there's no music. Like, some of the icons look a little weird, and some like the outlines on the character select screen look a little weird, at least for my computer. It could just be a me problem, but it's just something to think about. Though I will say I miss the pixelated style of Rivals 1. It gave it like an appeal, where every other fucking platform fighter is like some like either like a weird 3D 2.5 platform fighter to where it looks kind of generic or like the same. This one does a little bit, but I feel like when you look at the characters up close in detail, it sets it apart. But Rivals 1 just had that, like that charm to it, which I really, really like. But graphics aren't everything. I love how this game fucking implements like all the tech of Rivals 1 and like Melee into like one game. I've been wanting to play a new game other than like Melee and PM that has all like, you know, all this cool ass tech, and now it's here. For example, shit like shield dropping, right? In Melee, the input is kind of hard as it is, but if you don't have the right fucking controller, you're fucking cooked, right? You're not gonna be able to do it consistently. Rivals 2 lets you do the input if you already you already have the muscle memory for it, so you don't have to like relearn another input. And for players who don't know the input, you literally just let go of shield and press down, and you're able to shield drop. And I think that's fucking awesome. It's kind of like the idea where you have somewhat easy and accessible tech, but the way you use it makes you the better player, you know? Even shit like jump cancel grab is in the game, which is fucking awesome. But I'm just really hyped for this game to come out, and I'm excited for the next beta weekends. Rivals 2 has given me like a breath of fresh air for platform fighters, as like playing Smash Ultimate, I just felt like I'd become burnt out with the game competitively. I still love playing it all the time, but you know, with my friends and stuff, but like I just don't have like that hype or like that drive for it anymore. Like, you know, Rivals 1, Dan, he supported his community fully, and that's one thing I fucking love about like indie developers, or like any company that supports their fans. Nintendo just don't give a fuck. They're just like fucking blue balling everybody with like tournaments and like fucking canceling everything, and then like balancing characters. They don't know how to do it. It's just nice to see a company support its fans, the FGC, everything. I'm also excited that I can, you know, access this game somewhat early and get a little bit of a head start, as Ultimate and Rivals 1, I came in late. I didn't have internet until around 2022, and my whole fucking practice for Ultimate was either playing on hotspot with one of my friends or just in person, which, you know, around the time of COVID was almost impossible to go to tourneys and shit like that until around the very end of lockdown. And by then I still have internet, and it wasn't even worth driving fucking 45 minutes to a tourney that I'm gonna go 0-2 in, just because I didn't have any matchup experience. At least now I can get a head start. And the fucking game has rollback. I didn't even mention that. The game has rollback. I've only played like a couple matches, but it pretty much felt like fucking, you know, almost in person. It's almost like fucking Slippy. And I'm just really happy about that. For, you know, even people with bad internet could play a game and succeed in it. Rivals 2, if done correctly, I can see lasting a very long time. Somewhat like kind of like how Melee lasts a long time. I'm not saying it'll be like exactly like how Melee is, but I can see myself at least playing this game for years, and I'm excited for it. You know, most games today I feel like I get burnt out really quick, and this one's just giving me new hope for platform fighters. Like, I'm excited for this game to hopefully come out like main stage at Evo. Fucking it's already at Genesis. Another thing I'm looking forward to is Workshop. Do you know how fucking awesome Rivals 1 Workshop is? You probably do, but like, there are times where me and my friends just play fucking Peter Griffin Dittos, and that's all we do for the whole session, and I'm completely fine with it. Like Rivals 1 Workshop's already awesome. I'm just I'm just waiting to fucking waste my life on Rivals 2 Workshop. That's all I'm saying. But I think that's another thing that will attract, you know, even a casual fan base to this game. Rivals 1 attracted a lot of people. I remember when I first got into like, you know, competitive fighting games and platform fighters, and I remember seeing when people were first talking about like Ronald McDonald in the workshop, and I'm like, oh, that's a fucking funny game, and I didn't even know it was fucking Rivals. Like, if my friends didn't tell me to fucking like, oh, try this game out on, you know, they had it on Xbox, I'm like, this game's pretty cool, but you know, I don't fuck with it on, you know, Xbox controller. And they're like, oh, it's on Switch, and I just bought it on Switch, and then ever since then, I'm like, I just like the way Rivals feels over Ultimate, for me at least. I like games that are more, you know, creative, and you can show like your own like playstyle. I'm not saying that Ultimate can't, but it, you know, Rivals 2, 1, Melee, PN, all those games, you're able to like fucking, you know, express yourself, I guess. Don't want to sound fucking weird, but that's just the way to put it. And even in the beta, I felt like I was already cooking up crazy shit, and the game fucking came out three days ago. I only played it for fucking only a couple hours, and I'm already able to you know, be like, all right, yeah, that shit was sick. While in Ultimate, I'm like, that's just the same combo I've done multiple times, or at least that's how I feel. Not to say Ultimate doesn't have its combos. I still cook once in a while in Ultimate. It's just, at least in Rivals, after I'm like, damn, that shit was cool. While in Ultimate, I'm like, yeah, it was alright. Alright, I'm gonna stop fucking glazing Rivals. If you listen to me this far, thank you for listening to me yap. And if you feel like it, subscribe, like, do whatever you want. Fucking send me hate comments, dox me, whatever. But thank you for watching. Hope you have a good night. Also, someone, please fucking mod Claire and Aerial Grab, please.